Hello and welcome back. First things first, let me show you the shirt that I have for today. This is the OKC Outlaws, and if you'll see right here, it says Banked Track Roller Derby on the bottom. Uh, I want to thank the skater Motor City Mayhem for bringing me this shirt, for donating this shirt to me on behalf of OKC Outlaws. I have a link to her fan page as well as a link to the OKC Outlaws team page on the links tab. I've also put a link up to Green Country's team page. So if you're interested, go to the links tab and they should be all there. One interesting thing about this team, they used to be called Red Dirt Rebellion. They have changed their name, but the banked track that was actually used in the movie Whip It was from this team. So the movie producers borrowed the bank track from them, and that's what you see in the movie Whip It. All right. A couple notes on the posts so far. I think you're all doing great. Really giving me good substantial posts on this graphic novel and finding some of the themes in there that we've already addressed and finding these in graphic novel form. A few of you are pointing out the use of color, and I think that's very key. In this medium, the graphics are just as important, like I mentioned, as the text. So use of color and the style and that sort of thing are really great points of analysis. It seems like a lot of people were very taken by the grandma story, surprised by the grandma story, as was I when I read it. I didn't expect that ending. And also thought that a few of you pointed out an interesting thing with the terminology that a lot of roller girls use, the derby wife. When I first heard this, I was confused by it too, but that story illustrates exactly what is meant by it. Or as one student put it, a hetero derby romance. And I'm not sure if that student got that from the novel or that was her phrasing, but I thought it was very apt. Now, a few of you mentioned that there seems to be more going on in derby culture, at least from the texts that we're analyzing of derby culture, than just the narrow focus that we're doing on feminism. And you're absolutely right. For this short of a class, I had to focus in and pick really one theoretical angle. And the theoretical angle we're coming from is a more traditional examination of feminism and gender equality. But issues such as homosexuality definitely, as one of you pointed out in one of the texts, played very prominently in that one text. And if I were to point you towards scholarship where you could make more use of exploring this theme, there would be a few things. There's a body of scholarship out there called queer theory, and that sounds like a strange term, but what a lot of these theorists are trying to do is reappropriate the term queer. And so if you find something on queer theory, that would be very useful in analyzing particularly that story. Going back to one theorist who was very big in the field, Eve Sedgwick, her book Epistemology of the Closet is probably going to be very heavy reading, but if you find an article that might mention her or try to make sense of her stuff or use her as a source, that might be more accessible. Another thing that weren't able to address in this class because of the scope was the how race is performed, or how race comes into being in derby in particular, how it is mentioned, or how people of color are interact in derby and this sort of thing. And if I were to do a class on a 16-week class on roller derby, I think this would be a main theme that I would focus on too. One of the you can go back to the Derby Chronicles, and there are some interesting things. Skinny Minnie talking about, not knowing she was black until she went to the South and was treated differently This was back in the 60s, right? And so I think there's another fascinating line of analysis that could be done about race in Derby. But this class being as short as it is, we are unable to really get into some of those other things. Great posts so far, great substantial analyses. For the next assignment, we're going to be doing the same thing, so keep up that great work in finding those details and tying them back to some of the other things we've read. We're going to read the rest of the graphic novel and post in the discussion board. It'll be the same instructions as last time, but I'll go ahead and put them in the discussion board. So again, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. And we're coming up on the end of the course. We only have a few days left, but I think we're going to be able to finish strong. I will see you guys next time.